LCK 쇼다운 농심 레드포스 대 BNK POX.
We were playing.
Nope. We are just into the regular draft, Wolf. It's fine. If you do need the 5D glasses, we will have them prepared for you for game number 3. But I didn't think that our LCK Team Roadshow was going to be that intense.
I thought it was just going to be one of those things where LCK is doing a big push where they make me buy an accessory to cast the game, like the NSO Virtual Boy. What's going on with that?
I'm sorry, you're going to need the LCK Meebo in order to make this one work.
Part of your membership
scan that one in
is to buy another thing. What?
Yeah.
Don't do that to me, Ninty.
Yeah, also just give me a subscription as well for that one. All right, the Bard and the Jace both going to be taken away. There is that Poppy ban that we missed out on in the first game. And the Casio will be banned away as well. T1, I think, angling towards a Ryze pickup, perhaps. But we haven't seen the Blue Man find all that much success.
He has really, I think he's 0-3. He is really not having a good time.
No.
Not to mention, Locke is still available as well here at this moment in time.
That's a good point. Locke was banned 3rd on red side last time, but it's Nocturne this time.
If they ban Locke, could be a potential just Victor angle here for Gen.G. I know it doesn't really suit the theme of what you were hoping for when you were talking about more aggressive early game, but could be a flex pick still. Ruler has been one of the best Victors in the bottom lane, even though people hate it.
Whoa, okay.
All right, Locke is available.
So who's going to play it? Is it going to be Ruler, Chovy, or Keen?
There's also a small chance in this Game 2 draft with what's available, they don't play it.
No, I'm writing it in. I'm writing it in right now.
Baker, a bit of an unknown on the Locke. Same with Chovy. I don't think either of them have played a professional game on it just yet. So Vi will be prioritized instead here.
Okay, that is crazy. Vi is, very, very high priority at the moment, but I was expecting the Locke to be locked in.
I don't think Locke's getting played. I don't think it's happening. I mean, now you have a Vi to set it up, so it could be Locke Vi mid-jungle here for Gen.G, but with this draft, with the Xin coming through, Ezreal being hard to lock down, pun intended in this case, trying to get on top of him. You got the blink and the dash, but he's still pretty far away. You do want to scrap early to get the Locke online. You want to dive, so you need a winning bottom lane to set it up. Locke is not a free win. I know we talk about how strong he is, especially in the Ryze group. It just gets so volatile and crazy, but I think at this level of play in Pro, you really need a lot of setup to make sure that you can get that Locke online. Otherwise, it does not just become broken later by default in the game.
Lock it in, Chovy. Don't be scared.
I mean, I want to see Chovy play Locke.
Yeah,
and he has a Vi for setup, so it is playable, but you need a winning bottom lane too into this Ezreal.
There is the opportunity for Faker to answer it if it does come on through, but instead,
it's not happening.
Just be the Ziggs. Oh, man. Thought we were going to be locking it up. Locking and loading. Lock, stock, and through smoke and barrels.
Part of the problem here is that the Jarvan and the Lee Sin are gone. Vi works pretty well with it, but, Lee Sin gives you so much dive potential if you have a winning lane, and you can approach from so many different angles. Locke gets mid-prio. Karma says there's no way his lane is winning.
This is way less fun than Locke.
Oh, fake.
Okay, that's Ryze. I mean, that's more fun than Karma. I'll give you that. But it is not exactly finding the most success at this point in time. I think also Zig's going to be very happy to be playing into a Ryze whose range is far lower than that of the bouncing Bomber. So T1, they can choose to ban away the Locke now if they would like to, as it's not likely to be played by T1 anymore, given the fact that they've taken away their bottom lane champion as well as their mid lane.
Yone going to be taken away here from Chovy. See what comes through here on the Gen.G side of things. Karma, I think, is on the first part of the list.
Yep.
So luckily for you, I don't think we'll be seeing that one in this game. Bard's already banned, so best pushing support here with the Ezreal would be the Karma. Strong synergy. Pyke also can be a problem for Ziggs lanes, so they take that away first. Keria has been a madman on this pick, so a lot of respect. I don't know if you ban this against every support, but against Keria, it does feel like a safe choice.
Yeah, he is definitely the best Pyke that we have. We talk about it all the time, but his it was a loss, but that Pyke game where he had like 15 plays in the Mad Movie or something like that was one of the longest Mad Movie clips that we've ever had. Because that game was just a clinic. Really impressive stuff. I think the Alistair is also a decent one for T1. Not a huge fan of the Ezreal Alistair as there is the lock ban.
They just take it away just to be safe.
Yeah.
And I still think Karma's a strong ban here. There's not a ton of engage here for T1 though, if they go for the Karma. So maybe Gen.G just don't think it's worth it. Maybe they're saying, well, Karma shields would be a little bit of an annoyance to us, but having a squishy support into our Vi comp is not a problem. We could just weather the storm in the lane and be totally okay with it. Leona is still available here too for Gen.G, which is quite scary. Maybe T1 just take that away, because
yep. I mean, Shen is likely the support.
Oh, right, you're right, you're right.
But could be played top lane.
It can be, depending on the matchup. We don't know what the matchup is yet, so I was getting ahead of myself a little bit there.
Yeah, should be counter pick for Doran, you'd expect, but Keria might want to hold on to that.
Seraphine.
Instead, Seraphine is coming out, and that will be locked in here. So Ezreal Seraphine is a lot of poke and a lot of lane control, but they're already showing a Ziggs. Does kind of feel like they've indexed into a lot of lane control when Gen.G have opted out of laning at all.
Yeah. It's not the most amazing Seraphine angle either.
That's a Varus.
Yeah, that's a Varus. You know, it could also be Ziggs mid for Chovy, something we haven't really talked about too much or touched on, but very flexible Varus pick until this final pick gets locked in. Find out what that support is going to be.
There are a lot of weird things that you could do with this, right? Like, where is the Shen going? Where is the Ziggs going?
Where is the Varus going? And where's the Anivia going?
Yeah, see? The Anivia could be top lane. The Varus could be top lane. The Anivia could be mid.
So they're saying,
could be mid. Who knows?
They're saying, Doran, you have counterpick. Can you counterpick all, all four? Or all three, I suppose, in this case for top lane. Jax to be the option here for Doran into whatever it may be. It doesn't sound fun for most of them. It feels pretty good for Varus.
Yeah, and okay, so I think it would also feel really good for Shen to play into the Jax. I'm not entirely sure. Of course, Shen does like to auto-attack as well, so it's sort of like Twilight Refuge versus Counter-Strike, which is going to find the most value.
It's going to be Varus top, Anivia mid, and this
I don't know how I feel about
it. It's really... I think it's
eclectic.
I think that's a good word for it. I just feel like it's trying to do too many things. It's not a scaling draft. It's not a dive draft. It's not a Ziggs Vi Ambessa, you know, kind of draft where you have more CC to layer. You have the Chains of Corruption. The top lane Varus is definitely quite volatile, as we have Arnold and a lot of the Gen.G staff here, supporting staff and leadership at this matchup here. They're watching this homestand, trying and praying and hoping that this eclectic draft where the flexes are immaculate, but end up being kind of predictable, could bring them to a game 3 here against T1. But T1 have a draft that we didn't like the Rise part of it, but we know what this draft does. It side lanes really well with a Rise and a Jax, and it has a really good front line and Seraphine extension.
Yeah, and it's also got Owner on his Xin Zhao. It's the second Demacian boy that he's playing so far today. He was phenomenal in the Jarvan. See how he goes on the Xin as we get onto the Rift for Game 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, nailed it. There was a big delay because you could barely hear the leader of the fan chants, but then it happened, and I didn't speak over it this time.
There you go.
Not fired.
So Doran can't play level 1 without help because Shen doesn't go to lane. He goes to the top lane to power the Varus at level 1 because Ziggs is just going to be self-sufficient, like you said, in the bottom lane. So we just have this kind of glob of T1 trying to get something done for Doran here as Keria finally comes up here. Geen is in melee range, so he doesn't like that too much.
Yeah, so it's a little bit dangerous. Duro is now moving up, see whether he can defend, as Leap Strike does bring Doran closer. Keen, a little bit worried about how this one's working, but there is the taunt onto Ona, and the Hail of Blade's actually working out very nicely here for Duro to get that extra damage. Canyon's moving over, and Ona might have to give this one up. Has already taken the Raptors, so it's already a successful invade, but if they die, that is not what success looks like. That's a pretty cute little Wind Becomes Lightning flash there from Owner to get himself out, but he still has to expend the summoner spell.
Yeah, the biggest win for T1 is that the red buff resets. Gen.G are going to get their hands on this. Will be a big delay here from Owner. He's now flashless. Keen also didn't get an impressive level 1 start that he was hoping for. Ended up taking a little bit of damage there from Doran, but it's going to be very comfortable with this wave state right now, especially with Canyon right there, kind of hanging out at his side door. So just go back to a fairly normal game from here.
Yep.
Duro is going to the, okay, I was going to say going to the mid lane. He's hovering in the mid lane right now at level 1 to try to potentially get a punish here onto this Rise that's very far up. He has flash still, so Faker needs to be careful.
Yeah, Duro actually just going to go and get in here. No Ghost available for Faker. Had used that one previously. Chovy 5-1 on the Anivia thus far. Also Keen undefeated on this Varus that hasn't played it all too much. As now Owner could be in a little bit of trouble here. Steals away the Wolf Camp, and Duro's going to make his way in. Owner without flash is just going to get taunted up and destroyed. And that is the proactivity that we've been looking for from Gen.G. But Faker's also going to get on in here, seeing whether he can push them away. Carrier taking a lot of damage as Ruler throwing the bombs around. And now Pays should be able to execute him. Picks up the kill. All baited there beautifully. And Duro went for the play here. Puts the flash on cooldown. Keen is able to get himself out. But still looking good here for Doran in the top lane.
Yeah, the wave towards Doran here as well. So much time was spent by Duro to try to make this play happen that he's obviously very far behind in experience, but that does mean that he'll be able to catch up. Ruler's got some additional ones, but he died. If Ruler was alive there and actually had farm, he'd be in a much better spot. Pays is behind him right now, trying to make another play.
Yeah, there's the minefield as Ruler is level 4, so does have access to the stat.
Pays also has
exactly the best there from Pays.
Pays also has TP, so if he just gets half of Ruler's health bar in a trade and then TP's back in, he's fully in control again. With already more than double the farm of this Zig. So Gen.G warped the top side of the map with this Varus pick, and whenever you have a ranged top into a melee top in this meta, you always have the silly level 1 where a bunch of craziness happens, right? But is it really working for them even though they had the proactivity? That's the real question. As Ruler flashes early here, Pays just doesn't miss on this Ezreal, chips down this turret, and then they just continue to chase here.
This was kind of cute from Ruler though, to just use the minion wave in order to try and kill Carrier. Obviously, Pays outplays it, lands all the abilities, takes down the Ziggs. But I think it was a kind of cute attempt. But Pays just a little bit too good, as it turns out.
Well, Duro is still, if you're in a solo queue game, kind of in a reportable state, because Ruler is like, I already TP'd. I would like to kill the minions, please.
Yeah, where is Duro? Duro is supporting Canyon, not Ruler. Maybe there's another feud. Another AD carry in a little bit of trouble here, and it's Ruler. As he is now just going to mosey his way back towards the bottom lane. Obviously, it is a Ziggs. And he does just need to expect to be by himself for a lot of this game.
Yeah, the little game show we do, you and I were on LCK Feud.
Yep.
Yeah, the sound of that name's a little realer now.
Yeah, a little bit.
As Carrier is just going to push Ruler away. They are going to be able to get this first dragon with this amount of control. And Doran is behind as well, but this means way less, I think. Doran is still a Jax that's still going to be able to do a lot in this game, whereas the Ziggs is basically out of the game entirely for a while.
It's also the best first dragon as well. Ocean Drake is fantastic for the early lane as far as just a singular Drake is concerned.
Yeah.
So really good hit for T1.
The other problem is when you're playing, oh man, Pays he's just so good in the lane. And obviously it's a tough matchup to play as
Owie!
Because okay.
Yeah, Ruler is, he's not going to begin to have fun for quite some time.
I don't know if he gets to have fun ever in this this choice they've opted in for this draft. And it's like, not about the fact that they picked Ziggs, it's about the fact that they tried to put Duro on full roam duty and said, you'll be fine against Pays. That's Pays, though. You're never, like, he's the guy who generates the leads. We saw it in the last game on the Lucian pick. Oh, no way!
Don't do it to him. He has to cancel the back. Might now have to wait for the minion wave as Duro somehow gets out of the way of that Scryer's Bloom. Could be important here. As Duro's still level 2, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder whether he will ever get to 3. As over he goes, gets a preemptive flash. out of carrier here. That's just a Hex Splash from Duro. Nicely done.
Trying to grab that 3 icon next to Carrier's portrait there.
Yeah. Steal that one away.
Want level 3, please.
Threatening a Realm Warp.
This is such a bad game state here for Gen.G. Chovy might be able to make a play, though.
Yep, does find the stun onto Faker. He's ghosting. There is a Varus making his way down the river, though. Chains of Corruption goes wide, but Cease and Desist cannot actually go wide. Chovy's going to pick it up with a Glacial Storm, and Gen.G will grab their second kill of the game.
Faker, I think, just did not expect the heavy collapse there.
The Crystallize was large. As Doran's going to have to try again on the back. Chovy grabs himself a plate as well. Duro hits level 3, which is the most important part.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
He has a
He went up
whole
50% of a level.
And 50% of more buttons to press? Like, that's
ridiculous.
In terms of basic abilities, of course, he's got his summoners. Yeah, Faker's just up here. Chovy decides to extend this play, and Faker, there's nothing really he could do, right? I mean, he tries to Realm Warp, but it's obviously going to be interrupted because everyone on Gen.G is here.
Yep.
With the exception of Ruler, who didn't also add his ultimate to the mix. But now, we do have Gen.G with a gold lead here. This is still a problem in the bottom side, though. Pays got an early Sheen buy, and then he was able to get his tier afterwards. He is just so huge, and Ruler is not going to be touching turrets, talking about his passive, talking about satchels, talking about Zig's short fuse, all that. Is just going to be trying to clear waves as best as he can. 20 CS deficit at 4 minutes into the game, that's huge. At 8 minutes, it's still pretty big, but it matters less and less if they can stabilize here. But right now, this Ezreal is still a problem that needs to be solved. T1 will grab this top side objective as well, so not a single grub for this Ziggs composition here. Jax having 3, pretty scary.
Yeah, there's a Counter-Strike onto Keen, but now that's on cooldown. As the Vault Breaker comes in, Canyon no flash to follow, but they get the flash out of the Jax. Very happy about how this top side of the map is going, but Chovy having to put his flash on cooldown is a big deal. Means that he cannot position as aggressively here in this lane. As Ruler just continuing to get hit by every single button. Minefield does go down, so at least Pays will take a little back himself, but this is not an even trade.
This is kind of risky here for Gen.G. Carriers here. Doran's also collapsing.
Chovy moves over a control ward. They get vision absolutely everywhere. There is a secure on the blue buff, but it's a decent taunt to land. Still, there is going to be that great Crescent Guard. Still he goes down. Doran gets in there. It's a massive Counter-Strike, but where's the follow-up? Faker is now in there, but he's put into the Glacial Storm, and Doran is put into the ground. Flash over the wall. Faker is going to get taken out. Duro misses the taunt, but it doesn't seem to really matter. The Twilight Refuge keeps him alive for a little while as now Keen has rotated over and Pays goes down. It's a triple for the Gen.G 80 carry who comes from the top lane. Quadra!
And just like that, we put up the frames, we get out the canvas, and a whole big tent is up here for T1. After such a controlled game 1, we are right back in the T1 circus. Now, the part of this that's the most absurd is how Faker wants to try to hide that he's coming up here, but Chovy knows he just walls him off, and when this Counter-Strike comes in, Faker's still high, he's still waiting.
Oh, he was like Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Phantom Menace, man. He's just watching Darth Maul fighting against Qui-Gon Jinn.
And if Pays was gonna TP into the fight, it needed to be so much earlier, and also into the fight. As he comes over here, tries to get the kill onto Duro, finally Carrier picks it up, and now Pays is in amongst it. This is just a disaster. All the leads, all the advantages that Pays had, it all means nothing now.
That wall was absolutely gorgeous from Chovy there as well. The Gen.G fans, they can see a game 3. It is coming. As there is the Drake secured Chemtech Soul this game as well. Not exactly the greatest of Chemtech angles, but still will be valuable. As Duro looking to try and stop Owner here, who has just permanently been counter-jungling in a game state that's been kind of weird, to be perfectly honest. They get into the Crescent Guard, or at least they try to. Keen not quite able to get a lot of value there, as Carrier just trying to play some defense. They're waiting for another Shadow Dashes. In goes Duro, but he doesn't get the taunt. Still Keen. He's able to grab his 5th of the game. Faker now trying to run away. He's got the Ghost. So running is something he's pretty good at, but the cease and desist comes down, the stun to follow up, and Carrier can do nothing to help out the play. First turret does go over to Doran, so there is something there. They put the grubs to work.
We had a game one that was pretty low action, pretty low kills, pretty controlled by T1. Not only is this not controlled by T1, but it's a lot of aggression, it's a lot of kills early, and it's Gen.G who are massively ahead in this one as we start to crest the 12-minute mark. Another attempted, I don't want to call it a Hail Mary, but very aggressive collapse attempt. You know, we often call this an overload, but they don't have all of the tools. Like, Faker isn't here initially, and yes, with press and guard, there's some wiggle room where you could buy some space, but Faker just cannot get access to this fight initially as Chovy's blocking him. He does have Realm Warp, but doesn't opt to use it. And yeah, he just walks in here, gets caught by Canyon on the flank side, and dies. As Doran at least is able to get some time with the turret, but this game is very quickly falling by the wayside here for T1. I don't want to call it early, but it is certainly a set of advantages that I did not see coming after what happened in the early game.
Yeah, I would agree. Faker is now once again in a whole lot of trouble. The chain CC is coming on through as the Glacial Storm will be up again. But it's not going to be Faker dying this time around. Carrier might be in trouble though, as Owner is already over here looking to try and defend their mid laner. But the wall comes down. Owner is punched over it, so Canyon kind of saves him there momentarily. Moon becomes lightning over towards the Krugs, and Owner will be able to at least keep himself alive.
Carrier does not want to ult here to save him, wants to hold on to that. Will not have to use it ultimately. Like you said, because Canyon gets him over the wall, and so Carrier gets to hold on to that really important encore. Doran is trying to do a thing with Paze.
Yeah, Paze is going to show up here. Faker is there as well. Kane is extremely dead. Mega dead, some would say. And so he is just going to have to wait with the gray screen for a little while. Chovy should be able to get the cross-map play, though, as this wave is also going to get wiped out. So not a whole lot extra that can be got, but Keen, that was a big shutdown that they managed to claim.
Yeah, they grabbed it to Paze as well. So, you know, he has been the one who's the big lead here for T1. Now he is an even larger one over his counterpart of Ruler in the bottom lane, but that alone is not necessarily going to be enough here for T1. Going to need to get a little bit of extra time inside. So the fact that they were able to pick up an early Dragon is really important, and it gives them a lot of extra space and time in this game. It is Chemtech Soul. It's not Hextech or Inferno or anything like that crazy in this game, but still does allow them to kind of slow the game down. Any moment that Doran can spin in the side like this with 3 grubs is massive for T1.
Yeah, and this gold lead is going to really disappear. As now Faker is also probably going to disappear. Canyon's going to show up, does manage to get the kill. I thought maybe he'd just grab himself an assist. That doesn't happen, but the turret is going to fall down towards that bottom side.
It's like play-ins. Everyone's trying to kill Faker, except they're actually doing it. Because this isn't play-ins. This is, even though it looks like an MSI stage, it's just Gen.G's homestand. They're the home team. And Faker's dying a lot in this one.
He is. This time, though, they are actually making the cross-map work. You know, Doran able to take down turrets all over the map here. And so T1 keeping themselves somewhat competitive when it comes to the gold, despite the 10-to-4 kill ratio, which is not fantastic.
I mean, it's Vi and Varus that have the money for the most part. I mean, Chovy has a lot of farm money, right? Because he has the lead over a Faker who has not really spent much time outside of the Death Chamber in this game.
Yeah.
So his lead is over Faker, but it's not like he's sitting on piles of money. He is pretty fed in this game, but I think the core for T1 is trying to get some punishes, get some of these shutdowns if you can, and especially if you get onto Faker, because this actualizer feels like it's never going to be built this game if something doesn't change.
Oh yeah. That is going to be a teleport to the mid lane here from Chovy as well. He was shadowing to make sure that Kane could get that turret. It was actually a very cute play. True Shot Barrage is not going to connect onto too much here as it sails towards the top side of the map, and the Rift Herald should be claimed here by Gen.G. We do have 10 seconds on this next Dragon, but it's not soul point for anyone just yet as we've traded the first couple of Drakes. Does put it in a kind of awkward spot. See exactly how highly it's going to be prioritized on either side as the Rift Herald does go over to Gen.G, and T1 moves straight into this Dragon Pit. Now not wasting any time at all to make sure that they can grab the answering objective, and there it is, secured here by Ono.
I don't think they can defend this mid turret at all. They were rushing back towards it after taking the Dragon down, but instead they're just going to send Doran into the sides and let this turret go. Just too much pressure here by Gen.G, especially with Canyon here. He's even going to get an additional charge. Gen.G were able to maximize value, knowing that a contest for T1 would have been an opportunity for an engage from Canyon. And Doran, because his bottom turret was already gone, he's going to get a big push here. I don't know how much damage he can actually get done to this turret itself. Keen opts not to TP, so he actually will get to wail on it a little bit here and take out 2 plates. So it is a significant cross map, but it is definitely not equivalent to what Gen.G got. And that second dragon for T1 is a win, but it's not a massive one. And Gen.G right now just need to get to a point where Ruler could just farm up waves and otherwise just drop a bomb on any team fight that Canyon sets up and continue to control the map, similarly to how T1 did in the last game. And they should be in a pretty smooth position in this game because they just want to make sure Pays doesn't get to pop off. His 2 items came through quickly. At the second, not transformed here because of the lead he has, but he will have it soon. And then T1 can try to set up some tricky plays. Like, they have a lot of flashes here.
Yep. Ruler, though, has gone for the Blackfire Torch. I'm not a huge fan of this. I kind of like the bursty Ziggs with the Ludens.
Tough from behind to make that choice, but I do agree with you just in general.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot of champions that are going to be diving in towards you, right? You can get a fair bit of consistent damage on the front line with Chovy's amount of control. I mean, there's I guess, an argument for it, but I'm still a little bit less of a fan. Maybe it's just Orcs' influence. As
Chovy
only kind of likes that build.
Is 7 Rod of Ages, or over 7, really, stacks ahead of Faker.
That is a lot. Now. He's also like 90% kill contribution as well with 108 in this game, which is kind of insane with how scrappy this game was going in the early stages. Has moved to a 3,000 gold lead for Gen.G. And there's the Crystallize coming on down. Doran not exactly happy about facing off against this Anivia as Canyon dives on forward. They're looking for the last remaining outer turret. They might be able to grab it here.
Let's see if T1 kind of commit here. This feels like a bait by Gen.G. They want to force the fight using the turret as a pressure point. Duro's on the wraparound. I think they should just give this up. I think, you know, early game T1 might have been looking for a fight there, but I think in this game state, you just have to be sad and walk away as that turret goes down, as it's more about the pressure it implies that needs to be respected here from Gen.G. Carrier.
Oh, he sensed the play.
Yeah, the flash taunt was ready there, and he just was not going to opt into any of that shenaniganry.
Yep, I like it. It kind of looks silly, right? But it's so hard to react to a taunt flash that
it's respectful. It's respectful.
Yeah. You just have to like see the potential and get the heck out of there. And if you are the Seraphine, it can be very dangerous. As now Duro is going to be able to get himself out. It is going to be the flash over from Ona, who does find the wind becomes lightning onto Chovy. True Shot Barrage connects as well. And there's the Rune Prison taken down to the egg. Let's see whether the damage can come on through. The Encore, fantastic. They take out the egg, but at what cost? As Ona and Doran both fall in the pit. Keen is going to break his arm guard. That might actually keep him alive, as Ruler is controlling space in this river. A 2-for-1 in the end.
I mean, Faker is basically healing people with his items right now. He's not really able to do a whole lot there. He was set up. He was right in the place where he needed to be. He's healthy enough to offer some damage, but the damage just doesn't hurt. Keen just kind of ignores him there. And so initial play there from Owner was quite aggressive. It looked like the T1 numbers advantage was there, but Chovy's able to buy time with the wall. And so watch this again. Duro gets over the wall. Owner wants to flash here, but then finds himself on the wrong side of this wall, is getting slowed by Chovy, who's out of mana. And because Chovy has his passive here, Gen.G could just kind of regroup and then look for the turn here. As the Seraphine ultimate is decent, catches Keen, but he just doesn't really take that much damage from the carries here. Also gets to go golden to avoid some of the damage from Pays, who's pushing on to Ruler. And the target selection is kind of all over the place in the aftermath for T1.
Yeah, just got a little bit split up towards the end there. Not a whole lot of safe spaces to do battle. But killing Chovy, definitely a big deal. He had a gigantic lead, as we were just explaining before. But he kind of continues to do so. Yeah,
it's a little smaller, but
it's also going to be more difficult to kill him now. I mean, I know he doesn't have the egg at this point in time, but the Seraphs is now done. He's building towards his Chovy cannon.
Yeah, Faker's next item
in soon.
Was a mana crystal, so that doesn't do damage either. Oh, okay, now he's got.
He's found the chapter.
Chapter, all right.
It's in there. Also, there's a gigantic lead in the jungle as well. Canyon, as we can see on our screen right now, 6-0 and 4 on the bye. And he is representing a lot of shutdown gold. If T1 can ever actually get a kill onto the bye, it will be in a dangerous position, you could imagine, in a lot of instances. But looks like the Dragons are going to be equalized.
Honestly, this is kind of a favorable game state in this moment here for T1 because they're letting Gen.G have the dragon. Faker's getting money. I mean, he needs it desperately. They just need to stall this game out. That's really their best bet here. And so Canyon gets dragon, but they're not opting in for a fight. They're not going to give Gen.G the team fight they want right now while Gen.G are giga ahead. And so Faker gets some extra time in a side. Takes 200 of the gold lead away from Chovy.
There you go.
I mean, I'm really reaching for silver linings here, but I think T1 played the situation correctly. I think that was the best they could have done with Gen.G with having that much control. The fact that Faker was able to push that far up and get those waves in itself is, I think, as big of a win as you can hope for right now.
Well, I do want to take a brief moment
Sure.
to say that Owner and Carrier's skins looks really, really cool.
Sure, yeah.
Haven't seen
I
that
agree.
Seraphine skin all that often. And Owner with his cape looking absolutely phenomenal.
That's another silver lining here.
Yeah.
Is they look stylish in this moment.
One of the negatives is we could have had, what is it, 6 T1 skins in the game?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a Jax one. There is definitely a Ryze one. Faker is definitely not going to be using it. Does Ezreal have one? I don't think so, but there is definitely a Varus one and a Vi one. But now we've also got a very dead Owner as Gen.G utilizing Duro's ability to get anywhere on the map pretty effectively here. But in the delivery, Duro in position, the Encore goes completely wide, but Duro is going to be taken down, left on his lonesome, and Chovy, it's a great stun onto Doran to avoid that counter-strike, and now he's just kiting them around. Another stun comes in. Pays will find him though. The arcane shift forward, it's a decent dodge, but it is not enough. And Pays is going to be able to get his revenge. A second death here for the Anivia.
Yeah, that was a really nice punish by T1. And Gen.G with the Varus in the bottom lane with no TP, just weren't able to support where they were positioned on the map there on the top lane. And T1 do get a nice punish here. Some money, again, over to these carries. The Faker not picking up any of the kills. He's still super far behind, but he's part of how they set this up because he kind of baits Canyon in here. And this play is pretty disrespectful, right? The bomb comes through, Owner dies, but now there's enough time bought here for T1 to come over. The Realm Warp allows the chase. Even though the Seraphine ultimate leaves a little bit to be desired here, allows Canyon to get away, it's still going to be a huge win for T1 because there's no way to peel here for Chovy. Chovy plays as best he can, repeatedly putting his ultimate down, gets the stun here on the Doran's approach, but Pays is just going to keep E-ing forward. Will take Chovy out, even true shots, because he is... He knows Chovy is really ahead and maybe didn't even trust his own damage there.
All right, cease and desist does come down here. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to push back the Jax, and he just blows up. Chovy able to grab himself an assist, which I wasn't actually assuming was going to happen. Very nicely done.
Not too impactful here. Duro is going to be able to get away just fine. Doesn't need to flash.
T1's bottom side are doing really well, Wolf.
Yes.
Having a look at this game, it's very lopsided. As the 3 members of Gen.G on the top side feeling fantastic and asking what the hell happened on the bottom side of the map.
Well, it goes back to the very early game, right, where we were like, okay, Doran's deficit means less.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a full sacrifice, wasn't it?
The rest of the game became a little bit wonky, and Keen got a quadra kill, and so the lead is way bigger for Keen than it was when we were having that conversation earlier. But the same sort of top versus bottom rules do apply here with the 4 kills that Pays has picked up in total, the control of the lane he had early. Which one is going to matter more is the question. I think you could make an argument that the Jax is still very relevant 2,000 gold down because he could, he could look for a leap into a flash, into a prio target. But Chovy has his passive, right? Like, it's very difficult to burst him down. The Vi is good for peel. It's hard for Jax to actually close the gap here. And one of the biggest problems, we're talking about top versus bottom, is you forget to talk about mid. It's not about Chovy's lead as much as it's about Faker's deficit. He is just not able to do damage, and he won't be doing damage for so long in this game.
He's just a full Chovy cannon behind.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane.
Like, it's crazy how little Ryze does when you're this far behind in a game like this. Like, he needs just so much time, which is why we just keep watching him clearing waves, because that's all he can do, and he needs to be doing that only. And basically, all of T1 just needs to deny objectives while Faker gets money. Getting a proactive catch there, when Canyon overextended earlier, is a bonus. Definitely feels nice, but it's tougher to pull off.
Well, Megacone is going to be saving Doran here for the moment. as the rest of T1 are going to be pushing through towards the top side. They know that Canyon isn't there. It's a lot of damage represented as he just vault breaks to get out of the way of T1. Setting up these brushes, though, is a really great way to punish, especially when they're waiting for this Drake to spawn. It is going to come up now. Keen is in the area, doesn't have his teleport up and available. Doran back again once more, but has to move towards the mid lane as the rest of T1. I think they'd like to move towards Soul Point. But Gen.G, I think, will have a fair bit of control in that department, are actually looking towards the Baron instead right now.
All right. They have cleared this vision up, and we're looking at a Anivia who's on 3 items and can help do this Baron very quickly with the Fed Varus. So T1 now kind of have to scramble to look for any way to check this Baron and to be able to constantly make sure they have vision on where Gen.G are. Right now, they know they're on the bottom side of the map. They know they're on that dragon. The fact that Doran has TP is really valuable here because he can continue to be on the opposite side of the map of that objective and be side laning. And he's really the only thing in T1 that can pull Gen.G around the map a little bit here. As T1 are also going to get this scuttle, which is actually pretty huge to be able to get way more information. So can slow this game down a little bit. Rod's about to complete. I know it's a late one here for Faker, and he's still going to be very far behind in experience, but it pushes him much closer to 16. He's not that far away from hitting that critical breakpoint.
He'll be very close to Chovy as far as levels are concerned because he is about to ding that level 16.
Only half a level behind now. The Rod value later on in the game feels amazing if you're not in if the game isn't donezo, if you're transforming at 28 minutes. But he is just a few minion waves away from actually hitting that spike. In terms of getting the actualizer and the big damage, we're still a little bit further away, but if they can deny Baron until he gets it, Paze is on 3 items now. Doran still able to pull Gen.G around the map a little bit. There's still a way back in here, absolutely, for T1, but Gen.G, the ball is in their court right now. They have full control over the map, but they're the ones who are going to make the decisions here as T1 scramble to try to get that 3rd item for Faker.
Yeah, and speaking of 3rd items, both Keen and Ruler just completed their Void Staves. Feeling very good about the state of the game right now with their extra magic resist they've built for themselves. T1, not with really a true tank to be seen in this composition. And Doran, if he wants to build a pseudo-tanky item, it's probably Azonia's, right? So that is not representing very much more magic resist. It's only these Merc Treads that have been built up by a couple of the players that is really keeping them alive against all this magic damage out of Gen.G. Because I was going to criticize Keen for going towards this heavily AP build, but then, I mean, who's going to be building tanky stats on T1?
I do think that the way they've set up these lanes where they're putting Doran bottom side, as you can see here, is definitely the correct way to do it for T1. Faker doesn't have TP, he needs to be near the Baron. And he is just getting wave after wave. They have a lot of vision to support him because they're playing all through topside. So he has, unlike the time where he got caught last game, so many resources towards his side of the map where the Baron is so that he can continue to farm. And T1 are in a deficit, but they're doing everything right to get a potential comeback window in this game.
Yeah, Gen.G are doing a great job just trying to play around what T1 are doing here. I think that this tug of war is really beautifully done. Because Gen.G trying to push their advantage, T1 denying it, but neither team really giving much of an inch. But right now, with Gen.G's added power that they have, a 4,000 gold lead is nothing to scoff at. They have that soul point, and they're on the Baron here. It will need to be a turn, as it is spotted. This Baron pretty dangerous. This True Shot Barrage over the top as well is going to land onto 2. Ruler and Keen taking a lot of damage here. They do need to be careful. Look at that wall, plus the Glacial Storm and the 2-man stun. Still, T1 are going to be able to walk over it. Duro taking a lot of damage. And there is the Encore Flash. But Canyon able to get himself out of the way. They get themselves the grab, but Canyon going to go down to the GA so early. And in goes Chovy, trying to be in the Crescent Guard to make something happen. Canyon should get taken down here. It's Paze that gets the shutdown. Keen goes gold, and Owner is over the Glacial Storm and out of trouble as it's a double for Paze. At full health, he's going to pick up the 3rd one as well. And Ruler not going to be able to do anything about this other than kill Carrier from half health.
And let's see if he can get out of this one. I don't think so. Nice try with the satchel, but Doran is just going to slap him on the back of the head. And down he goes, and now it's T1's Baron. T1 incredibly patient in this game. And Gen.G, for the first time in a long time, finally got all the vision cleared on Baron. They were like, okay, Now it's a good time to do Baron, but this True Shot Barrage is massive damage, and they turn off the Baron early, but without actually offering anything except a wall and an attempted Q from Ruler. So yes, the Baron's not stealable here, but they're not under threat, so T1 can play it slow. Keриa's flash engage here is pretty good, and with Owner's Crescent Guard, engaging on him is not the right call. And then the rest of the T1 get the backline access here with Faker's Realm Warp. Sure, he didn't get his Actualizer, but he still makes a big impact in this fight, and now it's so split up here for Gen.G that Pays, there's just no one to lock him down. He could free fire in this one. Jovi will lose his passive and his life. A Ruler in the extended play, despite getting Keria, will also die. And this comeback here from T1 was so well orchestrated. How they set up their lanes, the Baron vision, how they played through Faker and sides, was all accumulating for one hopeful team fight, one hopeful moment. They got it. They've got a gold lead now in this game, and maybe they could still get the 2-0 here despite playing against the Gen.G home crowd.
And also, despite Gen.G having such a massive lead for so long, Duro takes a lot of damage from another one of these True Shot Barrages. And we're seeing the power of this Ezreal that has been a big problem all week long. Canyon looks for the angle towards Bezo. Mega Inferno Bomb. Can they kill him? That's the question. And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is no, not yet. As down goes Canyon first. Crescent Guard for Owner, and T1's War Machine is rolling over Gen.G. It looks like that 2-0 you were talking about is a little more imminent than we even expected.
Yeah, they're just going to push this bottom lane where everybody's here. They've got the wave, they've got Baron, and Gen.G could not hold on to the lead. They had such an advantage. Keen got a quadra kill in the early game. Faker was 2,500 gold behind, but it just doesn't matter. They bide their time, they play a slow control game, and on the Baron, the objective that matters, they get the win. They get another win on the bottom side. Push to end. As Pays is protected by Keria in that moment, has the peel. There's no follow-up for Canyon's engage. They're too far away, untouched. And this is the final moment here.
Yeah. Pays lands another True Shot Barrage. And T1 sort of feigning, and it
watch this play. Pays gets him ulted. There's a Ziggs bomb, but there's nothing else because Keria drops the ultimate, so Keen can't get in. No one can offer any further damage outside of the Ziggs ultimate. And so he doesn't die. He dies. Canyon, that is. And the fight is over.
And T1 just like back-to-back team fights, and the game is just over in the blink of an eye. Gen.G this game, it felt like they were ahead for about like the majority with the 4,000 gold lead, something like this. Not a small number, and in fact a larger lead than we saw most of game number one. But T1 just kept a level head and trusted in Pays.
I'm curious to see what Faker's damage number is this game. Look at that, nothing. He's got nothing. He killed minions all game long and helped control the side so they could get Baron. He did his job. He was, what, 0-4 for a majority of this 33-minute game. But they played around the fact that he was farming it up. They had Baron control. Great map game from T1. Just macro, immaculate, made all the right choices.
And Pays really did just manage to carry through that late game. A very obvious player of the match here, I think, is Lucian. Absolutely pivotal in game number one. And it's just nice to see some 80 carries being played throughout this series. You know, there was one Ziggs.